Kylian Mbappe pressed like his career depended on it against Bayern Munich. He tracked back, he defended, he covered ground nobody has seen him cover all season. He scored in the 74th minute to keep Madrid alive. He had 2 more chances that Neuer somehow kept out, and Real Madrid still lost.
And I said it last year at the end of the season when we knew that Mbappe was going there. How is he going to balance that team?
The answer seems to be staring us straight in the face. The biggest problem here is Mbappe.
39 goals this season, a goal every 76 minutes. One of his best performances of the year, a losing effort. So let me ask you the question that nobody in that stadium against Bayern could cleanly answer. Is the problem Mbappe, or is the problem everything that has been built around him? Because when you actually sit with the data, and we are going to go through all of it today, the answer is far more uncomfortable than either side of this debate wants to admit.
It has to work. He's not going to be put on the bench, is he? He's killing Mbappe, he's cost a lot of money. How do they make this work?
Mbappe's individual numbers this season belong in a different conversation from the one currently happening around him. 98th percentile final product across all forwards in the Big 5 leagues. 99th percentile progression. 99th percentile creation. 99th percentile dribbling. And across 5 consecutive seasons, going back to before he ever pulled on a white shirt, his output has not dropped below the 96th percentile once. This is not a Madrid effect. It predates Madrid entirely. Whatever problems exist at this club, they did not arrive with him. 39 goals this season, 14 in the Champions League alone, 3 away from Cristiano Ronaldo's all-time single-season record in the competition. A goal every 76 minutes. By almost any measure, one of the most productive individual seasons in Real Madrid's recent history. And yet, Barcelona are 7 points clear at the top of La Liga. The press that Xabi Alonso tried to build at the start of the season collapsed in November and never came back. And Bayern Munich came to the Bernabeu, a stadium that had not seen a Bayern win since 2001. And left with a 2-1 victory. The individual case is settled, but the individual case has never really been the question. The question is what happens to the team around him. And that is where the data starts telling a very different story. This chart plots every forward in the Big 5 leagues this season. Non-penalty expected goals on one axis, open play expected assists on the other. Mbappe sits alone in the top right corner, separated from the field by a distance that makes you look twice. Above Haaland, above Kane, above everyone. He is not just a finisher. He creates danger for others at an equally elite level, both qualities, in the same player, at 27. The X-Threat chart confirms it from a different angle. More shots and more threat created than any other forward in Europe this season. The numbers point in one direction, and they have been pointing there all year. So why does the team around him keep malfunctioning? The pass maps between Mbappe and Vinicius are the most honest thing in this entire conversation. When Mbappe receives from Vinicius, 112 receptions this season, his progressive pass rate is 0.21. The team average is 0.25. He is below the team average at moving the ball forward after receiving from his closest attacking partner. Instead, he shoots. 23 shots from those 112 receptions. 2 goals. He is the end point of every move, not a continuation of it. Flip it. When Vinicius receives from Mbappe, his progressive pass rate drops to 0.07. He drives, he carries. He creates through individual brilliance rather than combination play. The connection between them produces shots and carries and moments of individual quality, but very little of the penetrative, fluid link-up play that breaks down organised defences in knockout football. Against Bayern Munich, Vinicius had a one-on-one with Neuer in the 61st minute and hit the outside of the net. Mbappe had 2 massive chances that Neuer somehow kept out. The opportunities were there, they were just not converted. And the structural issue, the way this attack is connected, means both players are consistently arriving at the same moments from the same areas, rather than creating problems from different angles simultaneously.
And look at where he goes and get the ball again. No 9. Look at where he stays once again. You already have 1, 2, 3, 4 players. You don't need to go there. Stay in the middle. But because he likes to go on the left, just like Vinicius, you don't want that, really.
Even from Güler, Mbappe's progressive pass rate sits at 0.16, the lowest of any qualified recipient. Valverde, 0.34, Tchouaméni, 0.31, Carreras, 0.30, Mbappe, 0.16. Every time. from every source, in every game. The pass maps tell you what is happening between these players, but they do not tell you why. And the why is the part that changes how you see this entire situation. Look at where Mbappe's threatening actions begin and where they end. Start locations concentrated in the left half space. End locations shifting centrally into the box. He is listed as the striker. He is moving like a left winger. The position on the team sheet and the position on the pitch are two entirely different things, and the gap between them is costing Madrid in ways that are much harder to fix than a formation change. Because Vinicius owns the left. He cannot be moved from there. He makes the difference there every single game, and the data supports that completely. So Mbappe stays central. And a player who is most dangerous, drifting in from wide areas, spends most of his time in the one zone where defenders are most prepared for him.
That's him again trying to break the line. That's your 9. That's your 10. Again, who's going to make the run in behind? Who's going to try to go? It's him. It's Bellingham going, not your number 9. You can't win games like that. It's him again going. Look at where your 9 is. Yeah, I will be upset also. This is what we were talking about before, Jamie. On the ball, also he has to do way more.
Karim Benzema said it plainly. For me, Mbappe is not a 9. Every time he plays there for the France national team, he doesn't feel good. It's not his position. Thierry Henry said it before the game that he doesn't see the runs in behind from Mbappe that you need from a centre-forward. And Mbappe himself said it just days ago on a podcast. His exact words. I'm a player who defends a little less than others, and sometimes that can be a problem. His active defending this season sits at the 14th percentile, tackles and interceptions at the 7th. Against Bayern Munich, this was a visible exception. He pressed and tracked back in a way this season has rarely seen. It was not enough to change the result, because one player raising their defensive output does not fix the structural gap that runs through the whole system. This is the visual that tends to get ignored in the Mbappe debate, and it probably should not. Real Madrid's team metrics this season compared to 2023-24, the last full season before he arrived. Goals up, attacking up, possession up. Counter-attacks jumped from 68.7 to 99.2. In most areas, Madrid are actually a better team with him, but defending dropped from 96.6 to 92.4. Madrid became more explosive, more direct, more dangerous on the break, and slightly less defensively solid. Those two things are not separate. They are the same decision described from different angles. When you build your attack around a player who naturally does not press from the front and does not track back, the team's defensive structure adjusts accordingly. Arbeloa confirmed this explicitly. He said he does not want Mbappe pressing at full intensity. The system accommodates his attacking profile, and the defensive numbers are the cost. 83% right foot, 15 goals, 27 saved, 28 blocked, 32 off target. The blocked and off target numbers are high. They reflect volume shooting from positions where the chance is not always optimal. But 93rd percentile non-penalty goals confirms he converts when the quality is there. The finishing is not the problem. The volume of low probability attempts that come from operating centrally rather than arriving from wide is something a different positional setup might reduce. A journalist at AS sat in front of a camera after the Mallorca defeat last week and said something that probably a lot of people at the Bernabeu were already thinking. I don't know if I want all this quality. What I want are winners. And that tension between individual brilliance and collective function is exactly where this debate lives and refuses to be resolved. Because the honest answer to the question this video started with is not yes, and it is not no. Mbappe is not the problem in the way the criticism suggests. The counter-attack metric going from 68.7 to 99.2 tells you that Madrid are built for a specific kind of football with him, and that football can be devastating. Against Bayern Munich, pressing and scoring and creating in one of his best performances of the season, he showed exactly what he is capable of when fully engaged. But he is the reason the system has specific costs: a compressed left side, a reduced defensive floor, an attack that functions as a delivery mechanism to one terminal point rather than a connected unit that creates problems from multiple angles simultaneously. Bayern Munich came to the Bernabeu with Kane as a true 9, Olise and Luis Diaz as genuine wide threats, Gnabry operating in behind. Every player in a role that suits them. Madrid have Mbappe, who is better than all of them individually, and who is playing a position that is not quite his. The second leg is in Munich next week. The tie is not over, and Real Madrid have come back from worse. This club has a specific relationship with European nights that defies conventional logic. But the question underneath all of it, the one that will outlast whatever happens in Germany, is not really about this quarter-final. It is about whether the most expensive, most debated signing in Real Madrid's recent history will ever play in the position where the data says he is most dangerous, and whether the club will have the courage to make that decision before it is too late.